So what is the spiritual purpose of hard times? Hi, I'm Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is on The Wings of Your Mind. And today we're addressing the question, what is the spiritual purpose of hard times? Why do we have to have difficulties, heartbreak, and disaster in our lives? Well, let's start off with a story that has been floating around in slightly different versions for about 60 years at least. Several people have claimed to have created the story, so it's a big question as to where it came from. But back to the story. It's called Footprints in the Sand. So it goes like this. One night I dreamed a dream. I was walking along the beach with my Lord. Across the dark sky flashed scenes from my life. And for each scene I noticed two sets of footprints in the sand, one belonging to me and one belonging to my Lord. And when the last scene of my life shot before me, I looked back at the footprints in the sand. And there was only one set of footprints. I realized that this was at the lowest and saddest times in my life. This always bothered me, and I questioned the Lord about my dilemma. Lord, you told me when I decided to follow you that you would walk and talk with me all the way. But I'm aware that during the most troublesome times of my life, there was only one set of footprints. I don't understand why, when I needed you most, you left me. The Lord then whispered to me, my precious child, I love you and will never leave you, never ever, during your trials and testings. When you saw only one set of footprints, it was then that I carried you. Please click on the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts, comments, and suggestions, so you can use the chat box on the right side of the screen or the comment section below the video. So, that was the story. So why are there so many difficult times, it seems, where in our lives where it seems that we just can't make it any further under our own steam, where we're just overwhelmed? We just cannot go on. Well, as we discuss this issue, please remember that I'm discussing this from the perspective of the spiritual, from the perspective of above the physical. And probably the first thing we need to remember is that each and every one of us is an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. Each and every one of us. And the next thing we need to remember is that each and every one of us is a spiritual being having a human experience. And we are greater than our bodies. So, this human life that we are living is not the end-all and be-all. It is merely a part of our development. We are here to learn and to grow as spiritual beings, and we do not grow without the stress of overcoming resistance. There's no simple answer to the question at hand, why are there hard times? But there is value to the negative experience we live through. There's always value. So one answer that we live in a physical world of duality. That is, it's a world of opposites. You don't experience the light unless you've experienced the darkness. If there was only light, you wouldn't know that you were in light. Just like a fish doesn't know it's in water. But because you've experienced the darkness as well as the light, you know that there is a difference. We need the opposite to make us aware of the differences. You can't really know joy unless you've known sadness. Neither is an absolute. They're relative to each other. You know, I'm reminded of a scene from the movie The Matrix. Now, Agent Smith, who is a highly sophisticated computer creation, is telling Lawrence Fishburne, whose character is named Morpheus, that the Matrix was initially created as a perfect world where no one suffered and everyone could be happy. But it was a disaster because the human brain could not accept it. The result was that the people went insane. So in this physical plane of duality, we perceive difference. In fact, we need difference. Painful as it sometimes is, we need difference. Remember the story I told you last week where a king demanded that his wise men create a ring that would make him happy when he was sad, but would make him sad when he was happy. And after much work and thought on it, they came up with this ring that had the words engraved upon it, "This too shall pass." Another answer about why are there hard times is that the times of sadness and pain that we go through actually make you stronger. If there were only good times, there would be no progress. We all know the phrase, no pain, no gain. It's true. I'm reminded of a plant that I once owned. It's called a Schefflera. It's actually a beautiful leafy tree with large, shiny leaves. But if it's confined to living indoors in a controlled environment, it doesn't really fully develop. So I put mine outside on my balcony so that it could experience the elements. Now initially, whenever a slight breeze came along, it would knock the plant over because it had no resistance. It had no strength to resist the breeze. But eventually, after a couple of months of living out there in the breeze, it grew strong enough not only to withstand the breezes, but it could also withstand strong winds as it grew taller and stronger and more beautiful and more radiant. That's what life demands of us. Those of us who have accepted the mission of becoming spiritual warriors here on this earth plane. As spiritual warriors, we have taken on the task of elevating the consciousness of the people of this world. That task cannot be accomplished by a bunch of weak-willed people. It can only be accomplished by those who are well-grounded, strong enough, and powerful enough to accomplish it. And that can only be accomplished by those who are strong enough to channel the kind of energy through their bodies that will make a difference to the world around them. Remember, I've told you that your heart is a generator that sends out electromagnetic waves that extend out several feet from your body. Well, this electromagnetic aura around you influences those around you. It also influences the environment around you. It uplifts those around you. It can heal those around you. But that energy is not fully created by your heart. That energy rises through you from the source. And that source is infinite intelligence. So your heart is a generator, but it's being powered by infinite intelligence. It's being fed by infinite intelligence. So the stronger you are, the stronger your heart, then the more energy you can channel. And the level of energy that you can channel is based upon all that you have overcome that strengthens you. You have to overcome in order to get stronger. So what you have suffered through and what you might suffer through in the future will help build you. It will build your humility and heighten your awareness of the truth of the words of Jesus, who said, "But the Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works." So the pain that we suffer through shows us that we of ourselves cannot do it alone. We are no match for life by ourselves. It's much too big. Instead, we learn that if we move ourselves out of the way and stop straining to do it all by ourselves, we will rise to greater heights because we have finally accepted the truth that it is the power of infinite intelligence within us that does the work through us. What you've suffered through and what you might suffer through in the future might help strengthen your willpower. so that you will not, so that you can't be turned around by fear or intimidation or opposition. You'll be able to push through whatever opposes you because it is the power of infinite intelligence that will do the pushing, not you alone. Suffering can deepen and expand your ability to extend compassion to others. Because it's only by being there, through the experience yourself of being there, that you can truly feel what others are going through, or what others may be going through. Therefore, you can interact with them without judgment. Only if you've been through the pain of being unemployed and being rejected over and over and over again and trying to find a new job, can you work with others who are suffering through that experience and help them to overcome it without looking down upon them. Only if you've been through the horror of being homeless can you be in the presence of those who are now homeless without looking down your nose at their situations and thinking that you know better. Living through the hard times, living through the unbearable times, builds within you a reservoir of faith and energy that tells you that nothing can defeat you, because there is always inside of you that special knowledge that tells you that infinite intelligence will never desert you. I can remember that night when I believed that all was lost. I was cold, I was hungry, I was homeless, with no money, nowhere safe to lay my head. It was hopeless. But suddenly, I was being wrapped in an invisible blanket that warmed me. It brought me warmth, and it brought me a sense of safety that was just wonderful. And it brought me the knowledge that I was being protected and that this too will pass. Hard times. Hard times are part of our life. Hard times are unavoidable. Hard times. Hard times are painful and soul-wrenching. Yes, that is true. But hard times bring with them a gift. Every negative experience we go through in our lives bring us a gift without fail. You know, there's a story of a man named Will Jimeno. Will was a rookie policeman who responded to the 9/11 attack on the World Trade Center, and eventually found himself buried beneath the rubble of the collapsed building and was on the verge of death. So as he was fading away into death, he says that he saw a being of beautiful light walking toward him. A being of beautiful light walking toward him. And that being gave him the energy to hold on until he was rescued. So he was only one of the two people who survived the attack of 9/11. Only two people survived. So the next time you face one of those times that terrifies you, that rips out your heart and seems intent upon drowning you in sorrow and fear and pain, that is so overwhelming that it looks like it threatens to bury you in darkness. The next time you face one of those times, reach deep into your heart. Call on infinite intelligence. It'll be there. It'll be there waiting for your call. Let's close with prayer. Thank you, infinite intelligence. Thank you for bringing all of us together in this life so that we may become spiritual warriors and joining the work that we have come here to do. Thank you, infinite intelligence, for bringing us into this space of awareness and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our relationship to life and infinite intelligence. Thank you for showing us who we really are. We open our minds and hearts to the truth of our being. We are the children of God. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. And because we are part of the greater whole, we are beginning to understand our value to the continuity of life on this planet. As we become channels of your power, infinite intelligence, we can feel your presence within ourselves and within our lives more and more. And we know that as we feel your presence within our lives every day, we will rise because we are no longer cut off from you by being immersed in the darkness of fear, anger, and the pain of unforgiveness. So we're now restoring our connection through the thoughts. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Please remember to click on the thumbs up button below, and if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe to my broadcast. Remember, I would love to hear from you, your thoughts, comments, so please use the comments section below. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I am Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind.